Hi, I'm Lisa Goodgame, Program Director at TBW, and today I'm going to show you how to use the website PicMonkey to edit a photo and create an image that you could use for scrapbooking, for Facebook, for posting on your blog or website. PicMonkey is a free tool. It's a website. Here you can see picmonkey.com, and it works whether you're on a PC or you're on a Mac. It just works in your web browser. And PicMonkey allows you to edit photos much in the same way that you could with a bigger, fancier tool like Photoshop. It doesn't offer quite as many effects or quite as many detailed ways of editing the image, but it does give you quite a nice suite of features that allow you to make an image look more creative, more beautiful, a little bit different, and add some interesting elements to it, such as text and overlays. Today we're going to be working on an image for our TBW Women Connected Monday series. We usually post an image every Monday that is meant to be a little bit inspirational, give you a little bit of get up and go for working on a Monday after a nice weekend and trying to chase away a little bit of the Monday blahs. So we're going to start with one of the two options here. You can edit a photo or you can create a collage. And what you see here actually on the PicMonkey main page is an example of a collage. They have taken a photo, this spiderweb photo, and they've created a collage by adding overlays to it, adding text, and adding, again, more overlays and text and little cat image. I think they've also kind of done a little something here that makes it look a little makes it look a little bit animated. And here actually you can see the original image before it was edited for PicMonkey. I didn't mean to go there. So we'll go back to the home page of PicMonkey and we'll get started. So we're going to start with edit a photo. I have a picture that I want to start with today. It's this photo of a woman standing on a hill or in the mountains raising her arms in success. And we're going to do a couple of things to this image. First, we're going to crop it so that it's a little bit, so that it's actually square instead of being a horizontal image. And then we're going to add some text to it, and we're also going to edit the image just a little bit to change the color and make it a little bit less harsh and gold. Just for the record, this is a stock photo image that I got for free from a stock photo website. I didn't have to pay any royalties for it. And it's also an image that has a license that allows the user to edit it or change it and post it how they choose to. Keep in mind, if you're using images from the internet, that you want to be sure you aren't using copyrighted images. It's always better to start with your own original photo or to start with a photo like this that is either available from a stock photo website or available with a free license, what they call sometimes a Creative Commons license, that allows you to post an image or make changes to it. So we're going to start here first with the crop. These are all tools that you can use to edit your photo, and we're going to use some of them to edit this image. So we're going to start with the crop, and you can see our actual size of the image is 2,334 by 1,555 pixels. And we want to change this into a square image because that's what looks best on Facebook for the kind of post that we're going to do. So here in this drop-down menu, we're going to choose square. And you can change to kind of standard photo sizes, 8 by 10, 11 by 14. We're going to change to square. And you see we get this overlay here that we can adjust. And we want to make sure that we get the whole of our woman in the picture. And this is actually pretty nice. I want to leave room over here on the left-hand side because that's where we're going to put our text for this image. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this crop. And here we go. We have our reduced now square image. The next thing that I want to do is exposure. Here you see we have rotate. That's if you want to literally rotate the image. We don't have a need to do that. We want to go to exposure. So this image is it's a little bit harsh. The sunlight here is a little bit harsh. And I want to reduce the brightness a little bit. So I'm going to adjust the brightness down and take out some of the harshness of that light. We can also choose auto adjust and see what PicMonkey decides to do. And PicMonkey actually really didn't make any changes terribly much to it. Cancel what we did, and let's see what PicMonkey wants to do with auto adjust. Yeah, PicMonkey made very, very few changes. So I'm just gonna, again, adjust the brightness down just a little bit, give a little bit more shadow into our image. And click apply. Now colors, we can also adjust colors. And here if we choose auto adjust, PicMonkey actually turned this picture a little bit bluer than it had been before. Let's hit cancel here. You can see here there's still a lot of gold in the middle. And PicMonkey turned it a little bluer. We can use the neutral picker and remove color cast from the photo. This is really great if you have a fluorescent photo taken in fluorescent light that looks a little bit green. When you choose the neutral picker, you get this little eyedropper tool. For some reason it's not working. Here we go. Here's our little eyedropper tool. And you want to click on a bright white area of the picture. So we're going to click on this bright white over here. I just want to click on that and apply. And it didn't really change anything. So this photo has good colors and good exposure. We can change the saturation a little bit. We can desaturate the colors a bit. If we go way down, that's going to make it black and white. But I don't think we're really going to make too many changes to this image. We have the option to increase the sharpness or the clarity. This photo really doesn't need it. But if you have an image that's a little bit fuzzy around some edges, using sharpness and clarity can help improve those. You can see the difference here a little bit around her sleeve, where it's now a very kind of harsh and jagged line. I'm going to cancel that. And you can see that that has again softened up just a little bit around her sleeve. So we'll keep this as it is. If we wanted to resize this, it's actually quite a large size. If we wanted to resize it and make it smaller, for example, if we were going to email it to someone, we might want to make this a smaller file. We can make that change here. But since we're uploading it to Facebook, the percentages, the pixel size that we're using is good. Next here we have the magic wand tool. And there's something here I want to try. The magic wand tool gives you all kinds of neat effects for your pictures. And a lot of these are overlays that allow you to create images kind of like you might see in Instagram. So you can click on Orton here, and that will change the color scheme just a little bit. Or you could click on cross process, which is free, and that gives it a very strong yellowish cast, at least in the case of this image. Dusk, again, changes the color, and now it looks a little bit more like sunset than it looks like sunrise. Anything that has this little crown is not available for free, but you can see there's at least half of the choices are available for free. Tranquil, I'm not sure what that does. Again, these all just change the color cast a little bit. So in the basic choices, there are things you can do like adding dark edges to your photos, adding frost edges to your photos. Frost edges might be nice for something that you're doing around the holidays. You want to give a snowy look to it. Dark edges can give a bit of a mysterious look to it. Black and white obviously is black and white. Soften is something nice that can give you a little haze over your image. And you can see here, especially with her hair, how there's now a haze over it. That's not really effective for this picture. We're going to go ahead and cancel that. And you can see those things are nice and bright again. In the lipstick tool, there are options for really changing a lot of things with skin. And a lot of these are not available for free, like the airbrush, wrinkle remover, shine reducer. But you can do things like fix a blemish. You can give a little more blush to cheeks. You can whiten and brighten teeth. You can make lips a little bit brighter. But one of the things here that's available for free that's great, especially if you're working with a snapshot, is the red eye remover. If you've used a flash, sometimes there's going to be red eye, and the red eye remover can really improve that. Where we're going to focus our attention today actually is in the text section, but quickly I want to show you overlays. Overlays allow you to add geometric sections to your picture. You can use a square or a rectangle. Let me get rid of that square. You can use a rectangle and create a banner over your image where you might want to put some text, showing how you can kind of fade it out so that it's there's still an overlay, but it's not taking up all the visual space. That one maybe doesn't work so well in white. You can add design elements like hearts if this were something for Valentine's Day. That might be appropriate. There's all kinds of overlays that you can add. Some of them are just fun and creative. Some of them can be used to highlight a portion of an image, or this is one that I sometimes use when we're doing our podcast, and I'll add some text in there that says new episode. It gives it that sort of, hey, we've got something new and exciting for you. There are also arrows, for example, that you can use to point up to something in your image. Comic bubbles, if you want to show a thought, that actually could maybe work with this image in a different, oops, that's a Royale feature, sorry about that. So we could choose a black one and put some text inside it. Oh, okay, so it actually comes out white. We could put some text inside it if this were for a different purpose, and make it as though she were, thinking something up there on the mountaintop. And then finally, down here, there are some things like happy faces, creatures, lots of things that might be fun for kids' birthday party invitation, something like that. Easter, holidays. And then over here we have the scrapbooky section, and these are overlays that can turn something and make it look more like a postcard, for example, if you wanted to do that, or that can create a banner on an image, all sorts of different ones. Engraved banners if you want kind of an old-timey style. Labels, you could use this to create labels for jams or other food items that you might make to give away as gifts. There's also the Victorian labels section that has some really pretty ones. And in fact, I think this one might be, it's a Royale, might be in use on the Halloween image that's on the front page of PicMonkey. You can also do things like put a frame around your picture. You can add some textural overlays that don't really work for the application we're doing today, but those can be great for something creative. And then, of course, there are always holiday-related overlays or seasonal overlays that PicMonkey offers. So right now, there are all kinds of great ones that you can use for Halloween. But today, we're really going to focus on putting a text overlay on this image. So we're going to click on text. And you can see that there are a ton of fonts here in different styles. Again, the ones with the little crown are not available for free, but everything else is available for free. And frequently, PicMonkey adds new ones, so there are some nice new ones here that have just been added recently. Lots of Halloween-related ones, good for this time of year. So we are going to choose a font that goes well with both the image and with the quote that we're using this week. So our text, our quote this week is, "What would you do if you knew you could not fail?" That seems to fit nicely with this image of success, having surmounted an obstacle and feeling great about having done it. So this font that it defaulted to is not that exciting. Doesn't really do much for the image. I've chosen one that I think looks nice with this image and looks nice with, it suits the meaning of the quotation well. There were two actually that I had looked at. One was Tall, Dark, and Handsome. It's a nice, powerful font, and we can make it, make the size a little bit bigger and give a lot of power to this quotation. But for some reason, I just feel like this curvy script Sacramento looks very nice for this quotation. I'm not exactly sure what about it works so well for me, but I think it suits the image and it suits the quotation nicely. So we're going to make that just a little bit centered, and then I'm going to actually take down the font size of this a little bit so we get the whole quotation on 3 lines. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? You click off to the side, then you can see how the image looks as though it were going to be posted. I think this actually needs to just be shifted up a little bit, so click on this and move it up a little. It's not quite in the exact center, but because we have this mountain range down here in the bottom that kind of cuts off the bottom, it's actually in more of the visual center of the image. So the only other thing I would do to this is change the color of the text. The text is always going to default to black, and sometimes that's what you want. But on this bed, there's no black in this image at all, so it doesn't really seem to suit it. There's a neat tool you can use over here, this little eyedropper, and that will allow you to go over the colors in the image and see which ones look good in that text. And this dark russet, I think, looks really nice. This brown up here, I think, is a little bit too dark over that yellow portion of the image. You can see how the orange would look. The orange is very bright. That could be kind of cheery on a Monday. That's actually not bad. It's maybe a little bit bright though. So you can go back over here to the eyedropper tool. You can see how the yellow might look. It just blends in a little bit too much with the other colors. This over here turns out to be kind of a fluorescent yellow, which doesn't quite work. So this dark orange seems like a good color on here. And that's our image. That is our question for our Monday post this week. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? So the image looks nice. It's in a square that's going to work really well for Facebook. We have a pretty text overlay. There's only one more thing I would want to do to it, and that is either add the TBW website to it or the TBW logo. Because of the color of this image, our TBW logo doesn't really look that great with it. We can go back to our overlays here and go to your own. And I'm going to choose our little square logo, our fave icon. And I'm going to choose the square favicon small. I know I have a bunch saved with the same names. So I'm going to choose the small one. You see it just kind of plops it in the middle. We could put it down here on the lower right-hand corner, which is where little branding icons like this, often you'll see them on a Facebook page. But it's such a different color than the image, I kind of feel like it doesn't work there so well. So we can take that off and we can add another text box down here over the mountains. And we can make this text really quite small and put our website. Font that kind of works nicely for that is maybe Quicksand or Geo Sans Light. But because it's going to be so small, I'm actually going to choose one that's a little heavier. And I'm just going to go with good standard Tahoma. We're going to make this text white so it will show up on that background. And I'm just going to put the TBW website. We'll make this smaller so that it's not overwhelming the image. And now we have a little watermark or brand on our image. It's a little bit bright. So I think I'm going to change it, again, using the eyedropper tool and using one of the colors that's in the picture. And there, that meshes much better overall with the image. And just shift it a little bit so that it's right where we want it to be. And now if this image gets shared, there's at least our website branding on it. And people can go to tbwconnect.com and learn more about our organization. And this image can be the source that draws them there. So PicMonkey is a great tool to use, not only to edit your pictures, but also to create interesting posters, collages, invitations, emails. There are image qualities that you can choose to allow you to create a print-ready image. So if you had a really nice poster that you wanted to have printed for a meeting or a conference or something like that, you can do that in PicMonkey and choose the right image size and the right image quality in order to make that possible. So we're going to go ahead and save this. We are going to call it Facebook Monday Success. And there are three choices here for image quality. The first one, Roger. I don't know who Roger, Pierce, and Sean are. They must work for PicMonkey. But Roger says, not great, tiny file size. This would be maybe something that you would use for an email where you don't want your image to be a huge file size that crashes someone's email. Pierce says, great quality, good file size. This is the image quality that I choose for things that I'm posting online. If I'm posting on Facebook or I'm posting it on our website. It's a good image. It's a good quality image. It will look very nice and clear even when it is enlarged. Sean is a huge image size, a huge file size, sorry. And this would be appropriate if you were going to print an image for a poster or something like that. This file size you can see is 2.2 megabytes, which is really quite large. So we'll go back to Pierce. We're going to save it as the great quality, good file size. I'm going to save it in my concepts folder. Save it as a JPEG. JPEG is the common file type for photos. So when you're uploading something to Facebook, usually you can upload things that are either a JPEG format or the PNG format. Obviously, you can also upload videos, but when you're uploading pictures, usually it's PNG or JPEG format. All right, so this is now saved to my desktop. It's now saved to my computer. I guess I could save it to my desktop. And I have it all ready to go for my posting for TBW this week. Next week, I'm going to do another tech tip showing you how to use photo editing tools on your cell phone. I'm an Android phone user, so a lot of what you'll see will come from Android, but we'll also have some tips for iPhone users for specific apps. Many of the apps work the same way, so regardless of whether you're on iPhone or Android platform, you're still going to have access to the same kinds of tools. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have enjoyed learning how to use PicMonkey.